Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. All right. Cancer, relationship first, single second. Oracle cards come out where needed. I'm getting like a music feel already. Almost like I'm going across the page with notes or something like that. That's interesting. I am getting like this, like it's almost kind of like, there's ups and downs, but like sometimes like notes just kind of jump. It's kind of like you hit a cliff and it goes up and down and up and down. It's kind of what I'm feeling for some reason. That's interesting. The fourth one we want to put somewhere. No. Surrender. Okay. This up and down feel here. Now your partner doesn't seem to be changing a lot. They just seem to be staying kind of like the even keel. I feel this is Cancer, right? Yeah. Cancer, I feel like you're having some issues with what's going on here. Like there's a situation that just keeps going on. It doesn't seem to change. And it bothers you, and it just feels like you're hitting your wit's end. Like, I just can't stand this anymore. And the challenge card I'm noticing is that's the Seven of Pentacles. Kind of like you can't really get out of it right yet, but you're like, what do I need to do to get out of this situation? And it's not the relationship, I don't think. Well, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. If that's what you're feeling, if that's what you want, then you know what you want. So, if you came into this reading and you already had feelings that you wanted out of this relationship, that could be the thing. But otherwise, it's some other situation that you and your partner have to deal with that they always seem to be the same. Whatever it is, they always seem to be the same, doing the same, acting the same. And you're kind of like, I'm not in a spot where I can get out of this right now, whatever the situation is, but how long before I can? And that's your challenge card, because I feel like that's what you're looking for. Like, I want a way out of this. I hate this. I don't want to do this. Is there a way to get out of this? Whatever that is. Now, I'm also noticing the contrast to that. Your partner, in their spiritual sense, is that the 9? It is the 9 of Pentacles. I'm seeing a couple different cards that's telling me they seem to be enjoying something with this situation. Even if it's a situation to you that looks very distasteful, I see them enjoying it. How it's going, the way it's being taken care of at the very least, they seem to be enjoying it. Which makes me wonder if you're taking on the brunt of the responsibility. That could be part of it. Could be. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a general read. Yeah, because they've got 2 9s here. They got the 9 of Cups as well. And I'm noticing the 9 of Cups is their challenge card. Like, they're very satisfied with how it is, and they'd like to keep it that way. They're very comfortable. And that's also coming in as a challenge card, like saying that the way this is going, no, this could be better. They could pick up some more responsibility to this. I feel like they could pick up some more responsibility to this and be okay. Now, I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like they could. They seem to be happy with something about it, though. Now, you need a break. You definitely need a break. And it's the challenge card is saying you're looking at it as if you can't get out right now, but you're looking to. That's what it looks like to me. Like you can't do it right now, but you would like to. There's other cards reinforcing that we're going to come into in a minute. But you got a lot coming in here. What I'm just trying to be careful how I say it. You're in a spot where literally you got the 8 of Cups. You're like, I need to get away from this. This is not the only card saying that. There's another one coming up in a second. But you're also saying, even though I want to get away with this with the 8 of Cups, you got discernment. Like, I can't just like... It's kind of like walking the kids to school. You can't get halfway there and be like, I'm just not into this. You guys figure it out and walk away. I mean, they're kids. You can't do that. And you know that. You're like... Or it's kind of like... Maybe a better analogy is kind of like you're making a cake or something, and you're just kind of like, well, I don't really want to finish this cake, but I got to finish the part I'm working on, or hand it over to someone else for them to keep working on it because the cake has to be made. Something like that, or like, like you're in the middle of something, but you're like, I can't just drop this and be like, well, that's fine, and walk away. You got discernment here. Kind of like, I gotta walk away from this, and I'm going to, but I either have to hand it over to someone else, or I have to just finish this part. I have to just finish this last sentence. I have to finish something. Whatever I'm currently doing, I have to finish before I walk away, so that way the work I've currently done is not just wasted. You want to, though. You'd love to be like, hey, I'm good, and walk away. But discernment is saying you can't. You're not. It's you can't is coming through like you won't, because you're like, I didn't do all whatever this was, just to be like, forget it, and then all that I've done, it just goes to waste. Like, I don't want that to happen. So I at least have to hand it over to someone else to finish, or I have to finish this piece before I kind of step back. It's a very hard energy is what I'm getting. Because it's like you're forcing yourself to keep going, and you're just like, I really, really can't stand this anymore. That's how it feels. Now, spiritually, you have the King of Swords. Like, I gotta use you got information coming to you. You gotta use your noodle in the sense of like, I can't do this anymore. I have to get out. It's like, it just feels like it's maddening. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. Is what I'm getting with that King of Swords, and that thoughts are filtering in like, I can do this, I can do that. I have other options. These are possibilities for me to step away. I need a break, and I need it now. And here's all these options, and I can do this option and that option. Which option serves me the most? Which option is going to pay off in the long run? Which one's going to give me the greatest amount of relief? Things like that. There's a few coming in is what I'm getting. And I do see that you're gonna walk away. You have the Star card, and what makes things better. All you have to do is have the hope that things are going to work out, because I feel like you might walk away to the sense, or to the tune, like, if you come back to this, there's, for some of you it's an if. I don't know what that means, but I guess you would know better since it's general. If you come back to this, it's going to have to be a lot different, and you're not going to be able to add back in the same way you were. It's just it's going to burn you out even faster than it did this time. So what I'm getting is the Star card is what's aiding you. Like, you got to have a very hopeful attitude, either that you can step away and not come back, or if you do come back, things have to be reconstituted much differently, because it's going to burn you out the same way, just a lot quicker next time around if you come back the same way it was. And I'm getting the Six of Swords with the Karma card. Karma is also known as the Judgment card. Kind of like the judgment will fall based on what has come before it. That's what kind of teeters judgment. A lot of times justice and judgment come together, usually. I mean, it's judgment right side up is fair judgment, usually. Not for nothing. And you got sovereignty connecting right in here. Like, you're getting that reprieve. Somebody's helping you get out of this. Somebody is helping you move on from this. I feel like a move on for this might be a thing. I'm just now coming into this. Like, there might be a job that you don't like. And it might be a job where you make pretty good money, is what I'm getting. And this might be something you have to walk away from because you can't stand it anymore. And you would like to just quit and walk out, but you're like, well, I don't want that to hurt my resume or, like, my references, so I have to give 2 weeks. And this might be why your partner likes it so much, because they feel very comfortable and very happy because they're used to this type of living, this standard of living. But if you decide you can't stand it anymore and you have to get out, then you're going to have to do what you have to do. Because I also, just to be fair, your partner does have the Eight of Pentacles, which is telling me when you start talking to them that I can't do this anymore, I can't handle this anymore, this is driving me up the wall, it's just, I feel like it's sucking every breath of life out of me. Because I feel like it's like that type of thing. They realize, like, when you're coming towards them, like, they don't take it as like, oh, I think they're getting a little stressed. No, they're like, this is just, it's hit the point where it's too late. They're looking at this very closely, like, you've come to a point where it's just too late. There's no fixing it. You need a break. You need to get away from it, whatever it is. And they're like, all right, let's work together. Let's talk this out. so that this doesn't cause long-term damage, but we can get out of this and we can have a plan to work through things as that goes forward, as we go forward. Because I see them, they're coming to the point where they're realizing they have to help you. And this is actually very interesting because not only are they're in a way that they can help you, they can actually, I'm feeling them again take the brunt of the responsibility. Like whatever you have to get away from, they're helping you. Whatever they can, they're taking on as much as they possibly can. Whatever they can, literally can. And I'm getting here, there's a lot of cards coming in at once. Like all 5 of these cards I feel hit all at once. 7 of Cups, all the ideas coming in, all the possibilities. What else can we do? All right, do we need to change this? Like, what do we have to change in our lifestyle if we do? Is this a situation that somebody else can take over and we can just give it to them? Is this something that your partner has to take over and they just have to keep doing it themselves? They're going through all the possibilities. They're realizing you're done. You're fried. You've had it. The surrender is like they're surrendering to the thought, like, this is not an option. This has to change. Surrendering to it is just saying they realize this is not an option. This is not an option. This has to change. And they're looking at these possibilities extremely seriously in the sense of like one of these options will be chosen. That's how they're looking at it. Not like we could keep going like we are or choose these options. That's not how they're looking at it. They're like, the way we're going is done. I need to choose an option. Which option works the best? I need to help an option be chosen where we go next with this. And they're surrendering to that. They're like, we have to find a different way. That's 2 of the 5 cards. These are very helpful. Whatever they're working towards, they don't seem to be looking at it like a quick fix, which I feel like this is wonderful. This is great. Very, very good. Very, very good energy because they're looking at it like, all right, we're going to need to choose one of these new options. But it's not going to be like a quick fix and everything's cool and we're all good. They're looking at this like, all right, we're going to choose one of these options. It's going to take some work to get this changed over. We're going to have to construct this, construct that. It's going to go over a period of time. Like you got the Knight of Pentacles here. This is going to take some time to achieve, normalcy again. So they're looking at it long haul. Like this is not going to be fixed in a month. I don't feel like this is going to be fixed in a month. I really don't. It's going farther than that. And they're looking at it that way. Like looking at this long haul. How are we planning forward? This is how we'll be good for the next so many weeks. But after that, this is what we have to do for that. How do we plan for all of that? They're looking at this long haul. And they got wisdom here. Like either they have experience with something similar or they have some type of reference to pull on, like how to plan this. Somebody might be helping them plan this. If they're not that great planner that we seem to be explaining here, they might have a resource, either a sibling or a friend or some type of person they rely on that can help them, get a plan together and to help them help you, work this out so that the long haul this will work and the change can happen and you won't have to worry about going back to something, or at least not the way it was. So they're realizing this is long haul. It's one of that's now we got 4 of the 5 cards. The last fifth card here is the best card. The Sun card. This change is good for all of you. Now I know it's you and your partner, but I feel when I'm saying all of you, it feels like there's other people around. This is going to affect a lot of people, is what I'm actually feeling. Now, as this keeps going, as soon as you're able to step away from this and you release this, your stress level improves dramatically. You feel dramatically better is what I'm getting. And your partner is pulling it together. I'm seeing the Sun card. It does show up on their side, to be fair, but they're very confident with the plan going forward. They're very happy where things are going. I'm feeling like this is turning out much, much better than expected is what I'm getting. Much better. Because they have a plan. And they're like, for example, if it's a job change and you're like, I'm going to have to leave this job. I literally can't stand it one more second. I feel like you work with them and you're like, all right, I can do the 2-week notice. I don't want to, but I can, and I feel like I need to, and I will. And I feel like you're there, like, I will, because I feel like it's for the best. I will. So say that happens. 2-week plan is 2 weeks go by. You're like, all right, we're done. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Thank you. Have a good day. We're done. When that happens, like if you, it's already in plan. Like, all right, now that we're gonna have less income coming in for right now, we're going to cut down on these bills, we're going to cut down on this spending, we're going to do this, it's like it's all in plan. This is how we're going to do it. You both have an idea of how you're going to do. Like maybe they're like, you know what, take a month, maybe whatever works out for you. Just, breathe and live and just enjoy every day. And then, after a month goes by, then we'll start, talking about what type of job you'll go into next, or what type of things you'll find next, or what you want to do next, whatever. But it's all planned out. Like, things are already set. So, like, you don't have to worry about money or this or that, the other thing, because it's all been planned out. This is how we're going to handle that. This is how we're going to handle this. Since we have minimal resources or less resources, this is what we're going to do to keep going and still be okay and still be happy and still not have to worry about things, so that you can make this change. I think we hit it. All right, it feels like it just kind of like, whew, the energy just kind of wrapped right up there, so I feel like that's good. This feels like it's going a lot better than expected. It does feel like it's going a lot better than expected. And I feel like all the energy here was saying it's time. It is time. If this reading is hitting for you, it's time. It's time. That's what I feel like. But I feel like you should be able to connect to that fairly easily, knowing like, yeah, it's time. It's definitely time. If that reading is for you, of course. General readings, What do we have for single cancers? Messages for single cancers. What do we have for single cancers? I resisted saying it, but, well, you got the King of Wands here at the bottom, too. I got not now. It kept popping in, like, not now, not now. And I was just kind of like, where are we going with this not now feeling? And I'm seeing some fire element in here. You got the Knight of Wands at the top, the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. There's a lot of fire energy, which can come in quickly and go away quickly. It can be like a flash, like lightning is fire, you know what I mean? Flash in the pan. But when I'm feeling not now, I feel like something comes in very strong, and then it disappears, but it's going to reappear maybe later on down the road. All right, this energy, this is for single Cancer. This has happened already. It's happening again, and it will happen again. Somebody pops in and out. They're here. You see them for some of you, I feel like it's like 2-3 days, maybe a week, 2 weeks at the very most. But it's like either a couple days or a little bit longer than that. They pop in. Everything's very magnetic, exciting, fun, and then they're gone. They went a different direction. You're just like, okay. I'm getting the World card. When this person came into your life, they made a big impact. It just feels like it came in very strong. You were very excited, and then they just kind of like, whew, they were gone. And I feel like you were just kind of like standing there shell-shocked. Like, it was so intense. Like, was I the only one feeling that? Like, where did they go? How could they walk away from this? I feel like they're about to come forward again. I'm seeing the Ace of Swords in the environment here for this person. So communication shouldn't be a problem. When they want to communicate, they communicate. This can also, it can be phallic if you want. It could be very sexually motivated, just to be fair. Doesn't mean it has to be that way, but communication is more what I'm feeling. So if you're connecting to something else, that's okay. Go with what you feel is right. The top card here is very interesting because you got the Knight of Wands, and it's coming right in with the Fear card. This person's coming forward. They're coming towards you. They're coming towards you very strong, and you're just kind of like, I know I like this one. I also know they're not going to stick around. And you're like, it's very like, you don't want to say no, but you're like, I really don't think it's right for me to say yes because it'll go good for, 2-3 days, maybe a week. 2 weeks if I'm extremely lucky. And then, right on my butt, there I'll be. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. But it's like you're torn. You're like, but I really don't want to say no to this person because I really do like them. But I really don't think I should say yes. And you're just kind of like, I'm going to end up right on I'm not even going to end up on my butt. I'm going to land flat on my face, and it's going to hurt. I'm going to need, nose surgery, or whatever you call it, rhinoplasty, just to fix my face. This is going to hurt. It's coming forward very fast, and you're very well aware of where this is probably going to go. I'm not going to say you're wrong, because I think you're probably right at this point, because it's like, I'm getting not right now. Again, I'm getting it not right now. But this person is really strong, really passionate. And I do feel you resisting it at first, and then the Emperor comes in. That these two cards together is telling me you're trying to resist it, you're trying to hold back, you're like, I don't think this is a good idea. The short of this is, this person is making a second impact. How far it goes is up to you. But they're definitely coming towards you. They're communicating again. I feel you communicating back to them. Like, I don't feel like that's... I feel like you can. But how far things are going to go, like, whatever happened the first time around, you're like, well, I'm not going to play the fool this time around. So, I feel like some of you, not all of you, just to be fair, some of you are going to talk this out with this person and explain to them how you feel, and that you don't like this flash in, flash out situation. You're not a fan of it. You do like them, but like, unless they're looking for something more substantial, you don't want to be anything more than just friends. Like, 'cause I feel like I'm feeling friends. Like, you don't want to kick them out of your life, because they do have a very strong impact. But you're like, I'm not looking to end up flat on my face once you walk away again. I don't want that. Like, I don't want that at all. And I'm getting the Emperor. Like, a lot of you are kind of like holding together like what this really is. A lot of you seem to be going like, I know where this is going. I know what it's going to feel like. And you just seem to be jumping into it and just kind of like going with it. Being full aware of like, this person's going to walk away again. And just kind of like, I'm just going to enjoy it for what's enjoyable. I'm just going to enjoy the time with this person. And when they go away, they go away. And it's just like the Seven of Wands is kind of like you're protecting your feelings or trying to protect your feelings and just kind of going with it and enjoying what you can. I feel it's two different ways this is going to go. And it's up to you which is better for you. Because this person is going to walk away again. I'm getting it. You get the Five of Swords, because you're going to end up in the spot where you're like, I knew that was going to happen. I had good time with them. Either I talked to them or we went farther or whatever was right for you. Hopefully you talk to them and explain to them how you feel. But I'm getting, when all is said and done, you're like, and they're gone now. And they moved on again. And, well, the reason you have the Five of Swords is like, it was fun while it lasted. But you got the Three of Swords afterwards. You're devastated. You're crushed because you really do care about this one. You really do like this one. And you're like, I knew this was going to happen. I was going to flat on my face. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun when they were here, but that's why you got the Five of Swords at the bottom. It's like the fruitless wind. It's kind of like, for every ounce of fun and happiness you got, there's equal amount of sadness and dismay. Like, it flat out it washes. Like, it was really great, really fun, but now I'm completely devastated and heartbroken. So, it's like, did I really win here? Did I really win? Even those of you who are protecting your heart and like, I'll just go with it for while they're here, and when they go, then they'll go. And I know they're not going to stay, so I'm not going to get myself too attached to it. Too late. Because I'm getting when they leave, you're still heartbroken. It's just you can't seem to avoid it. And you got this in your thoughts. King of Cups. Excuse me. And don't get caught up in the gender in any of these cards. This person is very intense. Very passionate. I feel like you're falling for this one. I'm not going to say you're flat out in love, but you're falling for them very hard, very quickly. In fact, I feel like I really need to say that a little better. For a lot of you, the first time they showed up is when you fell in love with them. And this is somebody you're still in love with. And that's the big thing with this. Because you have that. This is why this is happening. You got those feelings, but you got the Ten of Pentacles where you're standing. This is somebody you care about a lot, and you want to build a life with them. You want them in your life daily. You don't want them going other places. You got the Ten of Pentacles here. You don't want them just to flash in, flash out. You want them here, and you want them to stay. And your feelings are so strong that even though you know they're going to walk away, you're almost 100% sure of it. Almost 100% sure that little bit, even if it's like a 0.35 Like, it's not even a full percent, but there's that 0.35 chance that they could stay. They just might. And you're just like, that's enough to work. That's enough to try because I really, really want this one. It's not really likely, but that little tiny percent that they just might. You're like, I'm gonna give it a shot. Because you seriously, it's very strong. I think I may be downplaying it even. That's why you're allowing this to happen. You see it coming. You know how this is going to go. You're like, well, I don't want to walk away from it. I don't want to shut it down because, what if? What if? Because I really want this one. And this happens. And you're like, well, fruitless win. I had a good time with them, but now they're gone and I'm crushed again. Now, this is how this is ending. And this is very interesting because I feel like what they're saying is like, this is not the last time this person is going to show up in your life. You got the high priest with the path. Hopefully, and I hope the majority of you at least can do this, or really do, you should have some line of communication with this person. If it's through social media, a cell phone number, whatever it is, some type of line of communication with this person. And especially if this hasn't happened yet and this person shows up, you want to find a way to communicate with this person so you could talk with them every now and then. Granted, they may get busy with other things, but you want to get a line of communication so you can every now and then just talk to them. Because what I'm getting with the high priest and the path is like, all right, this is going to come back again. It will happen again. This person will pop up in your life again. So if you start planning it now, how do you want the next time to come forward? Start thinking about that. Next time they come forward, I want them to be in a place where they want to start a relationship with someone. They're looking to tie down roots. I don't want them to come back to me not knowing how I feel. I want them knowing how I feel and how they affect me and how much I care. And I want to make sure they care. So since they're coming back anyway, I want it to be on the level and I want them to be ready to kind of anchor down. I feel like if you're able to keep communication going, you can, over time, explain to them how this makes you feel and what you're looking for in life. And I feel like you can actually, over time, it doesn't have to be like one intense conversation, just like little bits here and there, just dropping hints like you're looking to tie down or, settle down, tie down, settle down, whatever works for you. I'm looking to latch into life. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be there for me that I can be there for as well. I'm not interested in just fly-by-nights anymore. If you're kind of like dropping them the loud hint, like you're like, hey buddy, you're a fly-by-night. The way you're treating me, I don't like it. Don't do that. Like that you're giving them quite the loud hint. I'm not into fly-by-nights anymore, and they're kind of like a fly-by-night. They show up and then they're gone. If you can keep that mode of communication open, I don't think they'll approach you again until they're actually ready to, latch in. And it may keep them away from you for a while, instead of seeing them, 5 more times over the next 3 years, you may only see them once when they're finally ready, but that might be a lot better. Instead of going through 5 more heartbreaks or 4 more heartbreaks before they finally decide it's time, they won't approach you again until they're ready and they realize that that's what you want. Because I don't feel like this person enjoys hurting you. I don't think they realize that. I don't think they're seeing it that way. And I don't think that's a thing for them. I don't think they're connecting in the same way. Even if they realize you're upset, they don't realize to the degree they're not connecting that way. But if you can keep that line of communication open, I feel like you can kind of smooth this out and give them the quite loud hint. Like, don't approach me again unless you want to start something that we can build from. No more fly-by-nights. Thank you. And I'm not interested in that with you. And I think that's where we're ending with this. All right, I'm going to shut that down there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching, of course. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.